And we're live now, so you can actually go, D.
Excuse me.
Negative K, nothing further. Just Kitty Candy in the corner.
Hey, y'all got quiet. What happened?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're roll call. Black, white, and blue for better relations. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. And I'm here with a few of my friends. I got Tyrone Green. I got Jamel. I got Derek. I got Cheech, William Herrera. I got Mark. I got AC. I got Rich. Got D Schoon. Got Jerry. Got Jim. And we got Dave that snuck in on us. All right. Um, Before we get started, we want to start off with our intro moment of silence, followed by a disclaimer coming from Cheech and a statement of purpose coming from Jamel. Was that, or was it Jamel? Okay.
It was me, but
Nah, man. D, don't do that again.
mercy.
Don't do that again. You can do anything with adults, but please don't throw the children up in there on me because I'm gonna be tore up on the children, boy. My goodness.
Lord help me.
All right. Cheech, and I don't know who has the statement of purpose, but whoever has it will do it.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Before we get started, we wanted to go over a couple of things. First, we want to let you know that the comments made by members of Roll Call are the opinions of each individual. They're not intended to be taken as legal advice, recommendation, or suggestion. Please, for that, consult with a local attorney or your local police department. Remember that the laws change from village to village, city to city, state to state. So just check with a local department or attorney. Also, in order to spark our conversations, we do display videos or photographs, some of which may be graphic in nature. These are integral to our conversations. It sparks our conversations. Please do not get offended by it. A member of our panel will let you know ahead of time if any of them may be graphic or sensitive. These videos are not the property of Roll Call. We get them from social media like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. So you have access to them also. Also, the language used by members of Roll Call is very spontaneous. It comes from the heart. It is uncensored. It's not intended to offend anybody. Please do not take offense to it. You will see that sometimes we do not agree on something and we might go back and forth on it, but we don't take it personal. So we hope that you don't. Please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, put them on the chat and a member of Roll Call will address it at some point during the show. Thank you for joining us. Whoever's next.
Thank you, Cheech. Good afternoon. Once again, we're Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We are a pro-law enforcement group. We're for equitable policing. We're against racism. And Black and Brown Lives Matter. We come to each week in an attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and your community. We're glad you're here with us.
All right. Thank you so much, Cheech, and thank you, Rich. What happened to Jamel? Jamel fell off anyway, didn't he? What happened?
He got mad.
No, there he is. There he is. All right. Listen, we're praying for Derek and Deirdre. We're praying for JT and Orlando, Cheech and Anna, Isabel Jordan, and Monique, which is Mark's sister-in-law. All right. So we're going to keep them in prayer. And I believe that's it. So today we're going to be led, D School is going to be doing everything. So hope he let us talk, but he's going to be doing everything. D, it's in your hands, man.
All right, really quick, I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. I know during our, I know you guys will get upset at the end of our moment of silence, but I think it's really important. I know when I was in law enforcement, that was the last thought that was going through my mind. I'm thinking about the babies. So it kept me between the rails, if you will. And that's why I do that. It's really serious when you start thinking about the babies. All of this, all this conjecture and court and things that we talk about. They're nice things to talk about, but for me, it's about the babies. So this week, our first video is going to take us to Houston, Texas. This has been all over the internet, went a little what they call viral. A mother was stopped, and I don't want to give away too much of the video. Now, what I did want to say is, and with some of the videos are long. It would probably take up half the show. But I want to give you different parts of the video. I don't want you to think we're hiding anything or think we're trying to not show you anything. I just want to, I'll be fast forwarding through the video just so that we can get the gist and it can spark a nice conversation. So let's take a look at this one.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts now. Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We start tonight with a Factor exclusive. You've probably seen the video already, now racking up millions of views on Instagram. A Houston area mother pulled over on Good Friday, then detained, all while her toddler and stepdaughter sat in the car. Is this just a mistake or another example of a black woman being wrongfully vilified? We'll let you decide. A carefree Friday quickly turned into a nightmare for Kathleen Booker. She was in her car driving with her kids when she found herself pulled over in Fulshear.
What did I do? Step out of the car with your
What the actual heck?
What did I do?
Just like many people who are caught off guard by a ridiculous allegation, Booker nervously laughs it off. But the pistol-packing cops who told her to get out of the vehicle with her hands up were in no laughing mood.
What I need you to do is listen. But
her hands are up, though.
Right now.
The law-abiding citizen was told her car matched that of a vehicle involved in a robbery at a gas station. That leaves Booker as yet another black woman vilified and detained. And joining us exclusively, Kathleen Booker, alongside her attorney, Adia Jones. Glad to have you both here. When you look at that video now, what goes through your mind? What are your feelings about it?
Anxious, angry, disappointed, horrified, humiliated.
Take your time, take your time. And you were there with your children, and you didn't know, I mean, what happens before the video starts? I think a lot of people are wondering that.
So,
did they get behind you? Are red lights flashing? Do you hear a siren?
we were leaving the house. We had a urgent family matter to take care of, and all of a sudden I just know I was pulled over and unlawfully detained, guns pointed at me, never had any prior record, no criminal history, yeah.
And thinking about going through that now along with your children, your thoughts, your feelings about it.
My stepdaughter, she's scared of cops in the Fulshire area. I'm still processing everything. I've already sought out, medical assistance. It's just taking it one day at a time, but it's a shock. I never thought something like this would ever happen to me. I will never forget it. I relive it every day, 24/7.
If you want to take a break, we'll bring Audia in. Seeing that video, Audia, what are your thoughts for your client?
Speaking as a mother and as an attorney, I am disgusted. She was playing out her civil rights were violated. We're here to make sure that no stone goes unturned. It was a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. There is something called due process where they have to have reasonable articulable suspicion, some type of probable cause, exigent circumstances. There was none of that. There was no crime being committed. My client was simply a law-abiding citizen who was minding her own business with her own children, and the police violated her rights, and we're here to make sure that they're held accountable.
And of course, we will hear from the police department a little bit later on here on The Factor, so make sure you stay for that. Now, Kathleen, when they detained you, what did they say to you, if anything?
Honestly, I don't recall at this moment, but I just know I was thinking about my children. The last thing I thought of was this might be my last day on earth. My 2-year-old was in the car. Then he was standing with my stepdaughter, and they just had to witness everything.
And did you have to go to the police station or a substation, or did they release you there?
I was released with no apology.
So what is that like? Being pulled over, number one, they have their guns out. They say the guns weren't pointed at you, but that's up for debate. And of course, we can ask you that, were the guns pointed at you?
I mean, as you see in the video, I mean, it's clear.
And so, going through that, what did you expect them to do at the end? Say, we're sorry, Mrs. Booker, we made a mistake, what?
I expected an apology. I mean, that's the least you can do. I think it would have helped resolve some of the emotions and the impact of the trauma that I'm experiencing, even for my children. It just shows me that you can have a clean record, support your community, feel like your community has your back, and then in the instant, if, things don't look a certain way, then you're a villain. Mm-hmm. You're the bad guy.
Do you think this had anything to do with you being black at all? Or did that even cross your mind? Is that...
I don't know.
Because we've seen cops do interviews and talk about pulling someone over, and they say they can't tell what race someone is in a car when they're asking them to pull over from behind.
At the end of the day, I feel like if you make a mistake and violate somebody's civil rights, you should pay the consequences. And they detained me unlawfully, and I did nothing wrong.
How long did they detain you? For what period of time? Can you recall? Because obviously a lot of things are going through your mind, but what do you remember?
It felt like forever. I don't remember. It just felt like a long time.
Mm-hmm. And You decided to put it on social media. What has that response been like for you? Obviously, certain people can see that and they'll say that's horrible. Others will see it and say, well, she was released. What's the big deal?
So can you rephrase that?
So what has been the response from social media after you posted the video? You said, typically I don't do stuff like this, but...
Overwhelming support, to be honest. Not too many negative comments. I've had people that I haven't talked to in years reach out to me, call me. It's been relieving because I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like I have an opportunity to share my story for people that aren't here today to share theirs.
All right, let's leave it there. We got a few hands up. I got a comment or two I wanted to make, but let's go with Derek first. Go ahead, Derek.
Well, actually, Jim had his hand up first, so Jim can go.
All right, thanks, Derek. I got a couple of comments on this. First of all, I want to do the last one first, so civilians that are listening to this understand that being detained by the police when you're an innocent person is not unlawful, if the police are acting within the guidelines of their policy and et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people do have the opinion that if the police detain you and you really are an innocent person, that right away something's wrong. That has to be put aside because that's not correct. The other thing I see is, and I'm not making any light of this, because anytime a situation like this happens with the police and guns and mom is handcuffed and kids are in a car, it is not something that's good. Those kids are going to be traumatized for a while on that. I'm not sure, because it wasn't stated other than the car resembled a car in a robbery, if there were any other factors involved of why the police did what they did. Was there a gun involved in a robbery? Was it a female black, blah, blah, blah? You know, all those things weren't brought out. So I don't know how that came about. Now I'll just say, from what I'm watching, it is obvious to me that somebody that comes on a show like that with their attorney, this is all about a lawsuit at this point. I don't think anymore. It's not about kind of the facts in the case as much as how much can we get from this case? Because I have to be honest, at the scene, she didn't look all that traumatized to me at the scene. But, you know, the bottom line to it is people have to understand that police will stop people. And if they're within their, like I say, if they're not stopping you because you're driving while black, if they're stopping you because you do meet certain criteria, but you are innocent, that is not unlawful. And that's kind of all I got.
All right, let me say something quick before we go to Derek, AC, Jamel, and then Cheech. Just to answer some of the questions that, because I kind of watched the entire video, and, you know, for time's sake, I had to cut it. The vehicle wasn't the same vehicle. Totally different vehicle. Totally different race of the people involved. And I just wanted to say really quick. I know Derek's probably going to jump all over this, so I'm gonna let him do it. But you gotta understand, in our job, you may stop somebody who fits the description, but they're the wrong person. You have to operate with that. So my idea was to traumatize them as little as possible until I'm actually sure. You have to be sure. It's not one of these things where we want to give, you know, it was sort of close. It can't be. We ain't in the sort of close business. Y'all know that. We in the you got to know business. But go ahead, Derek. I know you got it. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, and so not only did I probably see the whole video, but there's a few different videos out. And like Dee said, it was a different car. So wrong type of car. One of the videos said the car was also a different color. So wrong type of car, different color car, wrong ethnicity, and wrong gender. So you're supposed to be stopping a male that's other than black in a different kind of car and other than what she was driving, and you do a full felony stop. That's beyond the pale. That's beyond the pale. And there should be, at this point, it should be about nothing other than a lawsuit. This should be her Mega Millions dollar ticket. This is the type of thing where, and I'm not even saying it to be funny. It's the type of thing where it's not supposed to happen. And like Dee said, if it does happen, the cop should make it as palatable as possible, and then releasing her to her 2-year-old and to her stepchild without so much as an apology just adds insult to the injury. The injury of stopping a lady that's supposed to be a guy in a different color car, in a different type of car, and a different color. I mean, you can't get much more wrong than that as a police officer. And to not apologize it's ridiculous. That's all I have. It should be a lawsuit.
Thanks, Derek. AC, are you with me? Where did AC go? Oh, there he is.
I'm still here. Yeah, they hit on some of the points I wanted to hit on. First of all, I'm glad Jim said, sometimes police work's not pretty, and not guilty people get stopped. That doesn't mean it's wrong to be stopped. There are reasons you should be stopped. You can't have the wrong person. It's not illegal to have the wrong person. But just like you have a good attitude and all this energy and stopping them, when you release them, you should have the same energy. I'm sorry, we're investigating. I'm assuming there's some reason to pull the car over. I later found out it wasn't. But if there's some reason to pull the car over, I'm sorry, we look for somebody, similar car, or whatever, and obviously you're not that person. I appreciate your time. If my name is so-and-so, if you have any other questions, you contact me. Take them back to their car and tell the kids, hey, sorry, waste your time. Thank you. And they'll have a better taste of police in their mouth. They won't think the police is so horrible. I know everybody thinks you're supposed to arrest the guilty people. You're supposed to arrest the people and take them to court, make sure see that they're guilty or innocent. Sometimes you get the wrong person. Well, if it's obvious it's the wrong person, you still have to be human as a police officer. You don't kick the door in because you have to kick the door in. There's a reason. And when you release and you did it wrong, say it. Hey, I got the wrong person.
I'm sorry.
You don't get in trouble for that. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, AC, you told my thunder. Just I'm wrong. I made a mistake. But we don't say that. Go ahead, Jamal.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, we could tell that the lady was traumatized by being stopped. And, we did hear one of the officers say that the car fits the description of some incident that occurred in the past. Everyone, unfortunately, these type of police incidents occur every day, everywhere, in every municipality. And all I ask is that each one of us just remain calm, let the police conduct their precursory investigation, and hopefully everything will get sorted out and you'll be on your way. Listen, the young lady, she should not have been stopped after all that we just heard, where it was the wrong car, wrong gender. Listen, we've seen last week, if you recall, the NYPD narcotics unit, what they did to that black man who was not the one that they were looking for. I mean, he got the Stubby beat out of him. So lucky for her, it didn't escalate to that. But what I'm trying to say is these things happen to any individual throughout the United States. Let least so you could be on your way and you don't escalate it to a level where it didn't have to go to. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Jamal. Cheech?
Yeah, everybody brought up all the points I was going to make. I agree 100% with Jim. not knowing the full scale of the stop. Jim is correct on a felony stop. Obviously, now that we know about the rest of the video, that changes, and even if the vehicle was a slight match, once you saw that the gender didn't match and, other indicators were not there, that should not have been a felony stop, and it should have changed. What I did want to add is that I think that community policing part of it is left out at the end. And that would make a huge difference on some of these stops, some of these situations that are going to happen because, you still got to do your police work and you're going to pull people over in situations where it might be close to what you're looking for. But an apology, can go a long way, I think, with some people. If you treated them right during the whole ordeal and just, hey, listen, explain this is what happened, this is what we got, and this is why we stopped you. We apologize. Obviously we were wrong, and you're on your way. That would probably make a huge difference in some cases. Now knowing everything else with this one and how none of those indicators were there from the beginning, obviously makes it a little bit different.
Thanks, Cheech. Don?
I love all of you, but I disagree with you, except for Derek. And not because he's my best friend, but I say that because if that was my daughter, I'd be totally upset. I mean, to no end. Forget race, forget any of that stuff. Nothing matched. And we're giving them a pass. And I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just not giving a pass because that's a major mistake. And it caused some trauma in somebody's life who already probably don't trust the police. And now they know they didn't do anything at all. And then when they find out that my car don't even match, I'm not even the same gender. I mean, nothing matches. It's like, you got to be kidding me. So for me, they don't get a pass on that one. It reminds me of a video that someone shared in our personal chat with the state trooper that got pulled over. Like, oh my goodness, you got to be, even that was like crazy, but it wasn't. It was some communication gap going on there. But I'm just like, with this right here, if I'm looking for a black car, why have a white car pull over? I'm looking for a male, why I'm pulling a female over? Because you may not know when you pull it over who it is, but when you pull them out the car, you know who it is. You know what it, I mean, I'm looking for a male, but I got a female here. Is there a male in the car? Was there a switch? There's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. Like, come on. I don't give them a break on that one at all. And I know some of you guys have, but that stop, and I agree with, sometimes you may pull up, I mean, if they had the same color car, almost the same make, maybe it's a little bit, maybe it's a different make, but it's like very close to it, looks the same. I can understand that one. That's just human nature. Go ahead, Jim, because I would love to hear what you guys say about that.
Because I've been writing on the chat here, but instead, let me just say it. The video clip that I watched, nowhere did it say, unless my ears were wrong, that the car was wrong, the sex was wrong. Nowhere did it say that. All it said was, the clip that I was shown anyway, was that the cop said that it matched a robbery. That's all the video clip said. So now you guys are all telling me all about, well, the cops knew the car. Well, where did that come from? That wasn't in the clip. So anything that we're saying about the clip doesn't match the reality. So like I'm saying, it's kind of unfair to make one statement and then find out, well, wait a second. The whole thing changes when you know it was the wrong car, wrong race, and wrong sex. Of course that changes it, but that's not what's in the clip. So we're really kind of, what the heck is that all about?
Blame D. He cut the clip short.
Let me TJ, you're absolutely right. I'm taking all the blame, but like I said in the beginning, it's a long video. It's a 30-minute video.
I don't disagree with a long video, but those factors
I know, but
would have made a whole different scenario when I put my hand up.
So and like I said, when I cut the video so we could see some things in the video. We have an entire staff here. I know when Will is here, he's on the computer. I know Derek's on the computer. I'm sitting here on the computer. We're getting more facts in the 3-minute video. In the 3-minute clip, you can't have all the details. When we come back from, because I can't raise my hand, Jim, while I'm sharing the clip. It's just the system won't let me do it. So what happens is when you have your hand up, I try to come back with some context. I always do, giving you more and more context as we go. Sometimes I don't have the opportunity because your hand is up and I want to get to you before I don't want to ignore you. So I just want everybody to understand when we share the clip, we would love to share, this came up a couple of weeks ago too, all the information. It's humanly impossible because we want to get one part of the story. We got 20 people here. And I know they're like the cousins. They're gonna find all the information all across all the T's and dot the I's. So it's giving them an opportunity to do that when we come back. So that's why I want you to understand the way I cut it. I look at a clip you guys send me. You guys know you send me 20 and 30 and 40-minute, hour and a half freaking clips. You know that. Don't act like you're not sitting and you don't know what you do. So it's trying to cut out the information. So that's all I'm trying to do. And sometimes I get it. Feel free to give it to me and show me the part you want to show. I don't have a problem with that, but I try to pick out the information. That's all I wanted to say. We try to get the context in.
And I still wasn't finished because I that's why I like to get all the hands up in so we can get more to the video that's probably being shown. And then we can make a conversation but because I had enough information after Derek spoke, I was like, well, shoot, that's enough for me right there. But let's say we didn't have any of that. Let's say we didn't have any of that, and then we found out that that there was the wrong person, wrong call, wrong everything. That's the problem. That's the problem right there because Jim said she doesn't look like she was distraught or whatever. She didn't look that way. But I know myself I would be if I got pulled over and didn't do anything and got taken out of my car and cuffed with my kids in the car. I know that I may not look like I'm messed up, but I'm messed up. And believe me, I'm going to the court right after that. I'm going to the court after that. If I find out, see, the car stop itself will not make me go to court because anybody can make that error. We all know that. That could be done by any one of us. The description of the car, and we pull over the car. That's not it. Keep on going, keep on looking. But if I found out after the fact, not only was the wrong car, wrong gender, wrong color, and everything else, I'd be like, oh no, that's too much of a mistake right there for me. All right, I see Jim again, but go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
Just so it's all cleared up. If you did not know that it was the wrong car, wrong race, and wrong sex, and all you had was they pulled over a car that was similar to the one that was in a robbery, would that be a clean stop?
Yep.
All right, that's where I was before all this other stuff came in.
Yep, it would be a totally clean stop because, or like you said, that you're pulling over a car that matches the description of a crime that has taken place. That's all. That's all we have. So I will go with that, Jim. But since the team gave me more information, I chimed in.
Right.
Go ahead, Ty. You gotta get your hand up there, buddy.
What if the robbery happened 3 days ago? See, it didn't tell us the robbery just happened 20 minutes ago. The robbery could have happened 3 days ago, and they pulled over a car based on information they got 3 days ago. See, to me, I need to know about that. About if it's a felony stop because it happened 15 minutes ago, an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, different story. But if the robbery happened 3 days ago in that same area, to me, it's kind of how many brown Chevrolets are there in Hempstead? 50, 40? I mean, so it's all relative. I think I just want to make that point.
All right.
Sorry, Mark.
Thanks.
Sorry, Mark.
Hey, Mark,
Sorry, Mark.
put a button on this.
Oh,
It's David's fault.
I'm gonna help out Jim. Jim, you know what you proved?
Mistakes happen.
without the proper information, mistakes will be made, and they're just mistakes. The bigger issue to me was having empathy for the person you stopped, okay, and apologizing and understanding. I had a situation where I had to tase a guy on the grass. AC remembers it very well. And I had to tase him. He went down. We cuffed him. We took him away. And I looked up and saw his mother standing there. Now, she witnessed all this. She was also the person who called because her son was acting out of his head, so to speak. So, but I took the time to stop, approach her, and explain everything from soup to nuts, even to the point of explaining how a taser works, the fact that the pain that you feel, okay, will go away once the electricity stops. So once I did that, she was fine with it. And I told her, listen, and we're going to take your son, and if he needs medical attention, we're going to give it to him. So my thing is, mistakes are made, and you have to be empathetic because a good police department must have a good relationship with his community. And if not, that's a problem. And every chief or commissioner should address that to avoid problems like that. And I'm done.
Thanks for the button, Mark. Good. As you see, as we say every week, we all don't agree sometimes. But that's the beauty of the room, because we've got so many people in here with so many different ways of thinking, so many different ways of thinking about policing. Oh, Jim, I see your hand up.
Just again, the final nail into this thing. We do all agree on this case. We do all agree. I just want to make sure everybody that's listening out there understands we do agree on this case.
Wonderfully said.
Listen, because you had two details. You had before you had information and after you have information. So that's really what he's saying. That when we hear the whole story, we're on the same page.
Right.
You know.
Well, let's go back to Houston.
You got CJ. I'm sorry. You got CJ.
I just want to make a quick comment about the whole situation because I don't want us to forget that in the course of our procedures, as we do follow them, that show-ups are also a part of the stops that we do make. Not like Tyrone says, not every time is it like available because it could have happened 2 or 3 days ago. But if it's imminent, just close proximity of the incident, we do bring the victim to the case, to the place where we have stopped that vehicle, and let that victim be an acute ID victim. You know, ID the party that did the crime. So we do show-ups. So just so that the public knows, it's not always available because sometimes the case is 2 or 3 days old. But at the time, if it's imminent, it happens right there. We pull over the wrong guy. Oops, we're sorry, but we'll drag you over to make sure you say, yeah, that was him or her.
Show up? What's that?
I just explained what a show up was.
What she just described.
So Jerry,
repeat, please, because I missed it. Repeat, please.
It's the opposite. It's the opposite of a lineup, Jerry. A lineup is when you take the perpetrator and you have him stand in a lineup with other people for the victim to pick him out. A show up is when you hold the perpetrator where you find him. Wherever you stop the perpetrator, you hold him there, and another cop brings the victim, and the victim gets to take a look at the perpetrator and decide whether or not that's the person that victimized them.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Hey, Don, we are losing control of the show, so I'm going to have to start pressing some buttons, I see.
Okay.
They forgot I had the board over here.
let me just give you some people online. You got Donald Coleman, Renee Henderson. You got Sylvia Butler. You got Valerie Marsh. You got Karen Caffey. You got Beverly Wells. Tim Edwards. I'm good to see Tim Edwards. He's with us. You got Richard Bowden. You got Burl McMillan, Donald Coleman, Brian Camp, Sonia Wilder, Kyle Lauder. And let me see. Brian says, in a court of law, any missing link or missing evidence, the case would be dismissed. It's a tough video to view. Kyle says it's all the way messed up. Lawsuit coming. Richard Bowden said cops disagreeing on roll call. There goes the neighborhood. LOL. Kyle says show-ups can be viewed by the court as suggestive. It has to be done carefully. Woo! Go ahead. That's our lawyer right there speaking, y'all.
Right. That was Kyle?
Yeah, that was Kyle. All right. That's it, D. Back in your hands. Listen. All right, y'all. D's got the controls.
All right, I'm gonna start pressing some buttons. I see what I gotta do here. Really quick, we're gonna go back to Houston. Apparently there's an officer down there that was caught making some racist remarks, and now she's under investigation. Let's take a look.
Houston police officer is under investigation after she posted a racist rant on social media.
The police department confirms Officer Ashley Gonzalez has been relieved of duty. A warning here, the video, it is disturbing, and we are only sharing just a portion of it.
Megan Reyna live downtown with the backlash from the community as well as the police department. Megan?
Yeah, well, the community is obviously very upset, but my sources with Houston police tell me that her fellow officers are deeply disturbed. Now, right now, Gonzalez is suspended of her duties. She has to stay at home with no badge, no gun, as police here fully investigate.
The amount of times that I will always and forever say that I hate.
This is video of what police say appears to be their officer, Ashley Gonzalez, going on a racist rant. The Instagram post was clipped and shared by community activist Dr. Candace Matthews Monday night. The officer is heard saying a racial slur at least 25 times. Since the post has gone viral, Gonzalez has been relieved of duty.
Also from Houston, Ashley Gonzalez.
Sources with Houston police tell us Gonzalez graduated from the academy in January of 2024, and in the social media video references being in the Marines.
I felt like I was back in the Marine Corps.
The president of the Houston chapter of the NAACP, Bishop James Dixon, says he was shocked when he saw the video.
That's a sick mindset, and it's violence waiting to happen.
According to the Houston Police Department's general order, officers must comply with the code of ethics that mentions acting without prejudices. And they have a social media policy that prohibits them from posting anything that would harm the reputation of the department or city.
Let's start a dialogue and let's re-engage officers as to how we see people in this very diverse community that we live in.
The HPOU president, Douglas Griffith, said in his statement, quote, "In no way does the HPOU or its leadership condone or tolerate racist behavior from any of our officers," end quote. District A Councilwoman Amy Peck, who oversees the Public Safety Committee, says she understands the concerns over how this officer may have acted while off duty.
We have many safety measures in place to make sure that if something like this happens, that they will be held accountable and we can go back and look at all of these cases.
Well, no hands.
I'm about to put mine up right now.
You got scared on the last one, huh? We got Derek, and then we're going to go to Cheech. Let's go, Derek. What you got?
Yeah, I guess the first thing I want to say is, if this is what she has the audacity to post, how do we think she's making people feel when she stops them? Yeah. Because everything that she's thinking, the minority, the Black person that she stops can feel all of it, even if she doesn't say it, which I'm sure she does, because again, the entire video wasn't shown and I saw the whole video. She said in the video that she called someone a nigger when she stopped them. And I know D says he can't show the whole video because they're too long. I don't even listen to music when I ride in the car by myself anymore. I watch these videos or listen to the videos while they're playing in my car. So I hear them in their entirety. She is a vile, horrible human who should be nowhere near a police badge or a department unless she's being arrested. And if she feels this way to say these things, she's definitely making these people feel horribly when she stops them. And that's all I have to say.
Go ahead, Cheech. You're on mute, Cheech.
Yeah, man, as a Latino, that was very upsetting for me. But it goes to show that even Latinos, there's some that are unfortunately racist. What I'm scared of is how many more people like that are out there that got past the investigations. You know, for her to say, I felt like I was back in the Marines. What the hell happened in the Marine Corps? You know, for you to say something like that. So it's scary. And as we know, we get a lot of law enforcement that come directly from being in the armed services. You know, so it's scary. It's upsetting. It's just that thank God she's terminated, and hopefully it's not one of those cases where she ends up in another department in a year or two. She should be done. That's all I got.
Thanks, Cheech. Jamel?
Yes. Listen, thank goodness the Houston Police Department, they have a code of ethics, because that young lady, her behavior is nothing professional at all. And just to think that the citizens of Houston would have someone like that out there conducting law enforcement duties, it only makes the rest of the Houston police officers, look bad, because civilians tend to group us all in one group when the behavior of one is bad. So thankfully, social media, she went out on social media and she let loose all of the negative behavior that was that she internalized, and thank goodness she no longer is employed by the Houston Police Department. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jamel. Mark.
How you doing? So yeah, unfortunately, it's not an isolated incident. That happens a lot more than you realize. I've had to deal with it myself in Hempstead. People feel that behind that computer they can let their hair down and and really express how they feel, and it's a shame. And you shouldn't have the job if you feel that way. Why'd you take it? Your first and foremost thing is helping people. People ask me, I did 36 and a half years. People ask me, you miss a job? I miss the people. And I miss the fact of, I really enjoyed helping people. Did I make arrests? Absolutely. But I got more pleasure from helping people and not hurting people. So, this social media thing, people lose their minds, and they hide it well at work. So even though the jobs will try to vet the people from coming on, they slip through, because anybody can lie and put up a good front. But sooner or later, the dark side will come out, and then once that's seen, it should be dealt with the same way Houston did it. That's it.
Yeah, Mark, really quick before we go to Don, I think the term is I miss the I miss the clowns, but I don't miss the circus.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Don.
I just want to say that we have Richard Bell said, when I lived in San Antonio, Texas, some of the most racist people I met were Mexicans. Natasha says, has she lost her mind? Brian Camp says, that is surprising. Mexicans are usually hardworking people who put in 12 to 16 hours a day. My question is, Donald Coleman wants to know. My question is, what was she thinking? Those are the comments that's on right now. And Jerry looked like she was trying to say something. I don't know.
I was saying she was under the influence of something, even if it was just her attitude.
She was. You could tell that too. Yeah.
Yeah, go jump in there, Cheech.
I just want to point out that I'm not Mexican.
I don't know. Go ahead, Rich.
You got Mark. Mark had his hand up.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to really say, first, Cheech, you are Mexican, but sometimes people become racist, regardless of their race, of how they're treated by a group of individuals. So, like, if you live in an area, say Mexicans, if you live in an area where it borders African Americans, and something bad happens to you or your family, whatever, that can sometimes, I'm not justifying it, but that can sometimes sway people because we are human and we're not perfect. And sometimes things can happen to where that makes us racist, you know, and that's why you need, especially with a police department, you need better race relations as far as teaching your cops, listen, whatever happened to you before, don't generalize. It's not all of them. It's only those individuals. It's not everybody, and move on from there and try to keep the past nightmares that you have maybe dealt with, push it aside and deal with the good people. Like he said, the guys who work so many hours and dedicated to their family and do the right thing, like Cheech.
Thanks, Mark. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, you know, the hatred and racism is tough. You know, and I think a lot of us have dealt with it through all our lives. I know I have. In the military, you know, in the police force, you know, I can't tell you how many times and incidents and things and, you know, that I had to deal with and navigate and keep myself out of jail. Sometimes it's a little tough to control yourself when you're faced with it, you know, and I don't think unless you've dealt with it, you don't know what it's really like, you know, and to constantly try to be an ambassador, you know, to break down those barriers, you know, how to relate to people, you know, you find yourself doing that more so people understand that you're not that stereotype and you're a good person and, you know, I'm just like you, just a different color and all those different things you go through. And I've dealt with that my whole life. It's just crazy. And the people that you see that you think are a certain way really aren't, you know, and I realize now with Trump, how many guys I actually worked with. And I'm glad that the line of blue was strong enough to override the hate as a fellow officer, you know, but then once I retired, I saw them on social media. I saw how racist they actually were. And then I lost a lot of respect for a lot of them, and they unfriended me and I unfriended them and, you know, what have you. And that's sad that these are guys that you were, you know, in the field with and they had your back and you had theirs. But then you see what they're really like. And it's not a big surprise. It's not a shock, but it's disappointing. And this young lady here, I'm glad they filtered her out because who knows what she might do. You know, a racist cop could ruin a person of color's life. You know, it has been proven. It's been done. They've been trigger happy. They've been planting evidence. They've been blacks have been falsely accused, just like the woman was. You know, poor law enforcement where they don't get all the facts, and they might even hear the facts and still decide to do something because they can. You know, so it's a sad commentary. I just wanted to say that, and you know, let's keep filtering these kind of people out and keep our heads up.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Rich. I think we've all experienced that with some former coworkers. Our resident Mexican, Cheech.
like Rich said, we got to break down those barriers. It's very important. And Mark hit a great point. Don't generalize. When I was at HPD, I had somebody, an officer, tell me, "I like you, you're one of the good guys. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, you're not a gang member. You're not MS. Well, why would you think I'm a MS? And he goes, well, you're Salvadorian, aren't you? Yeah. He's like, well, aren't all Salvadorians gang members?
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, no. But then I thought about it. Like you say, you get tunnel vision, you generalize, because the majority of Salvadorians that you were meeting on the job were the bad ones. That's who you're dealing with, the gang members. But you're not dealing with the good ones that are at work 14, 18 hours a day, that are providing for their family, that are doing good things in the community. You're just dealing with the bad ones. So, Mark brought up a great point there. Don't generalize.
Thanks, Cheech. Derek?
Yeah, and I just, Rich, you said that on your department, the blue overrode what I'm assuming is what would have been racist views. And your department was obviously very, very different than the department I was on, because there were no overrode racist views. It was overt, it was blatant, and even on the police department, at least on the one I was on, it's very, very palpable. It's not hidden. It's part of the framework. It's part of the framework of New York City Police Department. It's part of the framework of the way New York City is run. It's part of the way overtime is doled out to the way that the different neighborhoods are policed. It's very palpable. It is very palpable. So, if your department overrode it, if the blue overrode it, I'm glad you were on that department, because you would have had a very different experience on NYPD.
Yeah.
Great perspective, Derek. Appreciate it. Don?
I'm just reading comments. Donald Coleman says, Cheech, I found that out from my son-in-law, who is Spanish. When I was in Arizona visiting my family, I said that there were a lot of Spanish people here. He said the ones I was questioning were not Spanish, but Mexican.
Wow. Wow. That's deep.
I'm just reading. I'm just reading. I guess it's like, when someone says that a Puerto Rican is not American. When like our president.
Get ready to go home. Well, let's keep this. Oh, Rich, you got something?
Yeah, real quick. I live about 15 minutes from the Mexico border, and it's a funny thing, but I find that there's a lot of Mexicans that are here in San Diego that are racist against Mexicans. And what it is it's the Mexicans that came in legally against the illegal ones that are jumping the border. So there's a big hatred between those. And there's also there's a structure based on the color of the skin. The lighter skin Mexicans think they're white or act like they're white, and the darker skins look down like blacks are. So it's funny. It's a funny dichotomy here that goes on here in this area where I live. In San Diego, right by the border. We're all people, and people are hung up on certain things, and that's basically it. And that breaks all barriers. And what we can do is do the best we can to kind of shut it down when we see it happening. But it's a funny situation here, being in San Diego around the different Mexicans. And I'm just talking Mexicans. I'm not just Latinos and other people, other nationalities. But there's a big problem here with that. And also the Mexicans that think they're at the status of being white are actually for white nationalism. That's another like sidebar thing, that they think they're white and they're for white nationalism, and they don't realize they're voting and acting against their own interests. So a little stupidity involved in that too. That's all I got.
Let me just comment to that really quick. That's what happens when you look at this society and everybody reveres American. And most of us that have operated through the American society, some of us decades, 6, 7 decades now, you understand that it's that kind of society, and people are looking at that and going, that's a great society. So then when they want to come here or they want to emulate that, then it's based. That's why you got to be careful what you say. You tell our politicians and our people when they have a microphone, you got to be careful what you say, because people are watching and they think, well, you got this great society and it's rooted in racism. Why, if we just do the same thing, then we'll be great too. Go ahead, Mark. What you got?
Yeah, our esteemed president, who wants to send Native Americans back to their country, as he stated, that was pretty funny. But unfortunately, you find that in a lot of cultures. Haiti has people very dark, and then they have people very light. Mm-hmm. And the people that are very light are lifted up, and the ones who are dark skinned are put down. You have different Spanish countries that, depending on the color of your skin, they'll either think you're okay or they'll think you're garbage. Just like a lot of Central Americans don't like Puerto Ricans, don't like Dominicans. And it's not what they specifically did, it's the color of the skin. Mm-hmm. The only person that wants to be darker are the white people who are laying out in the sun all day until the police come, and then they want to flip back and be white again.
South Americans don't like Central Americans that much. South America, especially real South, like Argentina, they think they're a lot better than us. They look down on us.
Even in Brazil, you have two levels. You have the dark skin, and then you have the light skin. Light skin of money, looks, prestige. Dark skin, you're not wanted. So it's a shame that stigmatism is put on the dark skin when they're not even judging people, they're judging what they see. I see Reverend Camp's hands up.
You got something, Rev?
No, I think what Mark said was very funny, very good. But even the singer Frank Sinatra used to always say he was from North Italy. He made it a point to let people know his descendants were from Northern Italy, which to say, I'm not Sicilian. And we all know what that means. I like his singing, but he made it clear that his people from Northern Italy.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's keep this train running. We're gonna most of y'all know how I feel about kids. And Cheech actually brought this to our attention. Apparently, there was a mass shooting in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Let's take a look so we can talk about it.
I feel like everyone else. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm sad.
Winston-Salem police are investigating a mass shooting involving teenagers. It happened yesterday morning at Lineback Park.
7 teenagers were shot. 2 of those teenagers did not survive. Fox 8's Floriana Kafkas joins us live now from the Winston-Salem Police Department. Floriana, what are police saying about what led up to the shots being fired?
Good morning. Well, Winston-Salem police say this wasn't random. This all started as a planned fight between those teenagers, but that fight turned into a deadly shootout. 17-year-old Yerube Medina and 16-year-old Danielle Millian were killed. 5 other teens, all between the ages of 14 and 19, were rushed to the hospital. At this hour, no one is in custody. Police say some of the teens who were hurt were also involved in this shooting. Now, during a press conference yesterday, Winston-Salem Police Chief William Penn had a direct message to parents.
Parents, adults, whoever. It's not just our job to investigate these crimes, but also to tell you what's going on. So when the sheriff says we have a weapons problem in the school, we need adults to take action with that. That means checking book bags before you leave. Then so be it. So when I say, hey, we're having problems with kids going out unsupervised in the streets. That means you need to keep up with where your children are.
Now, police say that this was an isolated shooting at Lineback Park and did not occur on school grounds. Now, WSPD is asking anyone with any video or any information at this for this shooting to come forward. You can remain anonymous through Crime Stoppers. For now, live in Winston-Salem, Floriana Kafkas, Fox 8 News.
So this deadly mass shooting happened at a park that is very close to Jefferson Middle School and near Mount Tabor High School. Both were placed on secure protocol yesterday while classes went on as normal. We spoke with Jefferson Middle School parents and students who say hearing news of a shooting left them rattled. Many parents chose to pick up their students early from school yesterday. They say it is a terrifying feeling, waiting to be with your child, knowing that a shooting happened nearby. We spoke to a 6th grader about what happened.
They were like kind of talking about it, and I was just ready to go home. I just was ready to go because it's, like I said before, it's kind of scary and you don't know what could happen next. Even though that they say that we're secure, like we're good and everything, like you just don't know.
Okay, Cheech, what do you got?
Yes, so a little more detail on this. There was proms this past weekend. There was house parties, and at one of these house parties, there was a fight. Apparently, they weren't happy with how the fight ended, so they planned during the weekend to meet up during school hours on Monday morning at a park that is frequented by a lot of people in the community that walk around there, take their kids there to the playground during school hours. There's a pickleball court and a basketball court there. This park is right next door to a middle school, and the park is used to pick up students when they get out of school. And then across the street from the park is a church that runs a child daycare. So you can imagine the chaos around that whole area. Out of the 7 people shot, so it was a girl fight, and 2 of the males that were there from each side decided to pull out guns and start shooting at each other. One of the deceased, 2 are deceased, 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, was a sophomore and junior, and sophomore and senior, excuse me. And of the 5 others shot, 4 are critical, still in the hospital. One of the girls we don't think might make it. She is the sister of one of the deceased. Another one of the girls that are critical is also the sister of one of the deceased. So you have 3 from one family alone. What hits us harder with these kids is that this was all over social media ahead of time. Nobody notified the school. Nobody notified the police department. Somebody should have said something, because it was all over social media that this fight was planned. Some of the people there weren't even involved and went just to be spectators. Somebody called, to say there's a large group gathered at the park during school hours, which was obviously a red flag. 3 minutes later, they called saying they are fighting. And about 2 minutes after that, as the first officers arriving, the gunfire had erupted. And right away, they found 5 at the scene that were shot. The scene spread for a couple of blocks. It wasn't just there because everybody took off. So it's chaos trying to figure out who was who, where did they go. They shut down the middle school immediately and the high school. I am involved with a program through the police department of mentoring at that high school because of a shooting at the high school 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. My first thought was, I hope it's not one of our kids, in our program. Luckily, it was not. I found out right away that the majority of the kids involved in this were Latino. One, a male black, is 18 years old. He's being charged as an adult. He was originally charged with child endangerment for being there and not notifying anybody. But I believe now he is being charged with the homicide because it turns out that he was one of the shooters, apparently. So it's still an investigation in progress. They're still, working on all this. I was in 2 meetings today with the city and with the police department. We're trying to figure out what to do going forward. There is fear of retaliation, not just from the kids, but the parents are already making threats to the other families. So everybody's on edge right now. And it's devastating. They're kids. They're kids with their whole life ahead of them. But that's the hardest part for us, is knowing that this was preventable. But everybody's afraid to be a snitch. And we keep telling people it could be anonymous. Just let somebody know. Tell an adult. Too late, obviously, at this point. But we're praying for the 4 that are still in the hospital critical, and for that family that has 3 victims in one family.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Just interrupt. I'm coming to you next, Jamal, but let me just say something really quick. Takes a village. Cheech, thanks for your service with the kids. Everybody knows my history. I'm in the high schools. Touching and grabbing. Hey. If you don't have somebody to come to me. It takes a village. Everybody has to be involved. A lot of you don't know, before we get on, we're on but we're on the Zoom for about a good half an hour. And one of our members, and I hope I'm not messing with anybody's confidence, is Ty. Give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down. But he talked about his daughter wanting to pray before they leave home. That touched me, and just brings it full service. We didn't even know we were going to share this video, and his daughter made the decision that before I leave home, I want to pray. I want to pray with you. And it gives him an opportunity to sit down with her, pray with her. And I know a lot more going on. I'm trying to see if there's any bulges. I'm trying to see if she's going through something. I'm trying to see if somebody's bothering her, any marks on her face, anything going on. It gives you the opportunity. The reason I said that is because it takes all of us. You don't just send your, we got a lot of keyboard thugs. That's the thing. Back, I'm a 60, 70 kid. We didn't have the keyboard, so I don't know about keyboard thugs. It's amazing to me to learn about this thing here. They get behind the keyboard, they ready, they about it around the keyboard, and then you look at them and you go, come on, man. Come on. Hey, it sounded nice, but and then they get out into society. And that keyboard thug feeling, they actually think that's a real thing, right? With the video games and whatnot, not realizing that a thug is a thing for real. I'm looking around the room. I know some thugs. AC, I know some thugs. I know some real thugs. And you can, you're doing that behind the keyboard, and you get out here and you realize it's real, but by then it's too late. So we got to mentor these kids into understanding what's behind those words that you're typing, and how it might make somebody feel something, and how you don't know what they're going through. So now you come out to me and you don't know what I went through. Some of y'all in this room done saved me. Y'all don't even know it. You don't know what I'm going through. So when you approach anybody, especially somebody you don't know, you got to approach them in a way that assume they're going through the worst. That way, things that can happen between you will be the best. Go ahead, Jamal.
Yes. Yes. I just want to say that I hope that the individuals affected in that community, Cheech, will be able to, recover, and they will be able to get the justice that they need. we also had something maybe similar to what Cheech's community experienced in the largest national park in Nassau County at Eisenhower Park just about a week ago. We
Yes.
had some bloods up in that area. They were having a barbecue to recruit some new gang members. And before you know it, guns were at that location and rounds went off. And I forgot how many people got injured. 3 or 5 teenagers got injured. But, again, we've seen where the proliferation of guns throughout this country, it brings harm and death to our young children. And again, we steady beat the drum on, some common sense gun regulations. But again, before that will ever come to fruition, we are steadily gonna mount up the casualties because this country can't get the legislation that the residents of this country needs. That's it, guys.
Awesome.
And the chief at one of the press conferences said something that, hit home. Guns down here are like cell phones for kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just way too easy to get. Way too easy.
That's deep. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go to Port St. Lucie, and unless anybody's got anything else on this one. I know this is about the kids, so we might want to talk about that a little longer. But let's go to Port St. Lucie. There was a FedEx driver that was stalked, and then some things happened after a stop. I want you to take a look. I don't want to ruin it for you.
FedEx shooting in Riviera Beach, and investigators say it may have started as road rage on the Treasure Coast. CBS 12 Treasure Coast reporter Jack Wu is live in Port St. Lucie with those new details tonight. Jack?
Investigators say the suspect's car was spotted on the corner of Bayshore Boulevard and Port St. Lucie Boulevard, where I'm standing right now. A new report details how the deadly encounter unraveled, starting right here on the Treasure Coast. A FedEx driver shot and killed after what investigators describe as an apparent road rage incident. A newly released police report says Nathaniel Paget was driving from Port St. Lucie to a FedEx hub in Riviera Beach when the suspect, 24-year-old Tyler Vidro, began following him near the Florida Turnpike. The report says Paget tried to avoid a confrontation, but Vidro continued following him south.
He dropped off his FedEx truck, got into his personal vehicle, and was still followed, stalked, and dogged by the suspect.
Surveillance video shows Vidro following Paget into the FedEx facility where investigators say he confronted him. The report says Paget tried to leave the area, but Vidro followed again. According to the police, that's when Vidro opened fire, shooting Paget multiple times. Paget's wife, who was with him, called 911. Officers later found multiple shell casings at the scene and arrested Vidro a short time later.
Let the police intervene and diffuse the situation. Hindsight is 20/20, but we certainly wouldn't want anything like this to happen again.
People in Port St. Lucie tell CBS 12 News road rage like this is all too common. One man says he stopped driving altogether because of it.
A lot of people are always in a rush, and they try to cut you off. They stick the middle finger at you. They ride bumper to bumper on you, and they try to get you scared and nervous.
Police say he told dispatch he used his firearm and, quote, emptied the magazine.
What we know is clearly Vidro was the aggressor here. He was stalking Paget repeatedly and ultimately shooting him.
The report also says that Paget approached Vidro's vehicle with a concrete block, but investigators say the evidence does not support a stand your ground defense in this case. Vidro is now facing murder and stalking charges.
Wow. What you got, Mark? Mark.
So normally this is Jim's baby. He wants gun control. And the thing is, we have to, especially in this country, we have to take so many tests to drive. Take this, take that, get this, get that. But for guns, especially in the South, especially after this president really allowed the gun laws to get laxed, you can just go in and get into a store and get it like it's a bag of potato chips. And like, what do you expect? Some of these people shouldn't be walking with any type of weapon, but they can just go in because they have the money, get a gun, and they're not afraid to use it. And it's a shame. You know, we're not saying that you shouldn't be able to have a gun, but there should be some vetting. There should be some type of way of showing that you're able to. The funny thing about it is law enforcement, once we retire, we have to jump through more hoops to keep our guns.
In New York.
But yet down south, you know, soon as your birthday comes, like I said, you go into the store, get a bag of potato chips, some soda, get you a gun, and now you big Billy Badass on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a shame. And unfortunately, until this is changed and the attitude coming from the White House changes on these gun laws, you're going to see it more and more. And we are seeing it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Go ahead. Oh, thanks, Mark. Real quick. Yeah. I know we're wrapping it up.
I had something to say. My hand is up.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go last, but I want to say something because you're gonna wrap it up.
No, you got a few minutes.
Okay, real quick. I just wanted to say, Mark just dealt with the gun aspect. I'm not going to deal with that over again, but let me help y'all out. A road rage, people gonna cut you off. People gonna stop short in front of you. They gonna make a right turn from the left lane and a left turn from the right lane. I'm gonna let you know that's what they do. I drive a lot. I drive over 250,000 miles every year. Listen, it's going to happen. Go nowhere, right? And it's going to happen. We got to bring this road rage down a little bit. It's not aimed toward you. It's not because of you. It's because they don't like the color of your car. They don't like the hair you're wearing. It's just the way people drive. We got to bring it down on this road rage. It's not the end of the world. Don't let it be the end of you.
Amen.
You may you may rage against the wrong person. I'm not talking about myself because y'all know me, but you may rage against the wrong person. So the idea is he cut me off, gone, man. Don't look at him in the driver's seat and give him, sit up in your seat and look. Don't do all that. You're gone. You get home, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. It's we didn't call it road rage back in the 70s and 80s when we were driving, right? Right? What did we say? Them Sunday drivers. Come on, y'all help me. Y'all are old too. Them Sunday drivers, and we kept on. Road rage. Jumping out your car. What's wrong with you? Those were steel cars back then. We ain't jumping out of nowhere. You kidding me? Okay, I'm aging myself. Go ahead, Don.
I just want to read comments. That's what I said. I wasn't ready to close. I was ready to read comments. Karen Caff says 10 people shot this afternoon in Baton Rouge at a mall in Louisiana. All right. Then also Ryan Camp says down here in the South, people carry their guns openly on their waist.
Yes, they do.
David Van Cleef says rifles and shotguns roll out of Walmart daily here in Tennessee. Tennessee is a patron state of shooting stuff. Richard Bowden says to purchase a gun in the South, you have to pass a background check. It's never as easy as buying chips. I know. I have purchased several. It's not the gun, it's the person. Now, hold up now. Now, some of these places do not do background checks.
That's right.
So that's why we always say, just know which state you're in. Don't give us a general statement and it's wrong, because that is definitely wrong. You can go in some of these states and just go in and get it and come on out with it. No background check or anything. So I know that's not true. And if it happened in your state, then fine. Like we say right here, in New York, Mark just made a statement that retired officers have to go through loops and bounds to continue to carry their guns. Right. That's in New York.
Only in New York.
That's in New York. So we make the separation, the distinction between that's in New York. but that's not in Georgia. You know, it may not be in Arizona. You know, I don't know the states that free that you do, but I know there are states out there you can go right up there and get it. All right. So that's what I want to say. D.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Cheech.
Yeah, I just want to say, Forsyth County, North Carolina, that you used to have to go to the sheriff's office, apply. They did a background check. It took a couple of weeks, and then they would give you 3 certificates. That was the limit, and you would take the certificate and go to a gun store or go to a pawn shop. As of January of last year, it's out the window. You no longer need that. The only time you need to go to the sheriff is if you want concealed carry, and you have to take a class, and then you can carry concealed. But anybody can carry open carry. So if you don't have a concealed license, you open carry. And to me, that's stupidity. I see them in Walmart all the time, walking around
All the time.
with their gun out. What are you thinking? You know, that's, you know, these people are just dumb. But yeah, no, you can walk into any pawn shop here now, any gun store, show your driver's license, and within 15 minutes you walk out with as many weapons as you want, AR-15s, whatever you want. You know, 18-year-olds can walk in and buy long guns without a problem either. You know, so it's just like Jim says, we need stricter gun laws. You know, and that is always going to be an issue because of the ease of getting these weapons.
Thank you, Cheech. Go ahead, AC.
Just a further clarification, just so everybody knows that 15 minutes it takes, that's a federal background check. There's no background check required from person to person. But when you go into the gun store and buy a pistol, there is a background check. That's what the state used to do. And the reason I'm clarifying, because I don't want people out there listening to us to think that we all just think, oh, don't know what we're talking about in terms of gun laws. I'm a converter. We need to make them stricter. But there is a federal background check done at the store. That's what the sheriff used to do beforehand. And now it's at the store only. But person to person is not regulated.
You don't need that. Yeah. So I can go and buy 5 guns and turn around and sell them to Jose Smith. And I don't have to show any record of it, nothing. If it comes back to me later, well, I sold it. That's it.
Or if you have a concealed carry permit in North Carolina, they won't do a background check. They assume the concealed carry permit is been done already.
David Van Cleef says, we can conceal carry in Tennessee without a license, constitutional carry.
Yeah.
Things are different everywhere.
Listen. You can go to any state and find out that there's different rules all over the place.
All right, Don, we're gonna button this up.
Okay.
As every week we start with a good guy video. Before I turn it back over to Don, let's take a look. Those of you, I know some of you work communications. This might have been a day in the life of the communications supervisor. Let's check it out.
Tell me what happened.
My daddy kissed me goodnight last night. His breath, officer, it was horrible. I think something died in there.
Oh, man. What's the problem?
It's my grandpa. He sits in his chair and he makes a sound like this.
Let's have it.
And then he blames the dog. But officer, you don't have a dog.
Why are you here today?
I'm here to report my brother.
What did he do?
He tells mommy he's doing homework in his room, but he's not doing homework. He plays video games the whole time.
What seems to be the problem?
I need to report my mommy.
What did she do?
She said we're going to the park. We went to the dentist. That's fraud.
Hey there, kiddo. What brings you to the station?
My daddy.
Your daddy? What did he do?
He tells mommy he's working from home, but he's not working. He takes a nap at 12 o'clock every day. I took a picture for proof.
What do you have there?
Mommy food from last night. I need you to test it. Cause I don't think that was chicken. Even the dog didn't eat it. And the dog ate My dad ate all the chicken. The bucket is empty. Did he share any with you? Does this look like sharing to you?
All right, 911, what is your emergency?
My daddy made dinner.
That's so sweet of him.
Does this look like food to you? I don't even know what it is.
Oh my
That AI is a mess.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you catch something. They're real good though. Go ahead, D. I'm
They
sorry.
are. They're cute.
Oh, we good. We good. All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Don, and you can get us out of here.
All right, listen, thank you guys for joining. Will says, I'm sorry I missed the show, fam. Definitely going to catch the rebroadcast. Natasha's over there cracking up. Listen, thank you guys for joining us and being with us. Dee did a wonderful job. Good job, Dee. Thank you so much. Listen, I just want you guys to know that I believe that anybody can do this, but you got to be here for us to get to you. You know, and then I just automatically know that some people just like, man, don't you even think about calling my name. So I know that, and I'm not gonna mess with them. On the air I'm not. On the side I'm still gonna mess with them, but not on the air. But thank you guys for joining in with us. I'm gonna mess with Derek right now. Derek, that you need to use that computer again, because that computer with no background noise. I mean, zero. And on the other one you used, it was picking up all kinds of sounds, but now nothing.
Can I this? I think Jim has Derek's chair.
Yeah.
Sure, it sounds like it.
Jim didn't hear you either. Jim's on the phone talking. He hear you.
He's talking to the news about D today.
It might not be his chair. It might be his bones.
But Cheech, it's good to see you back, because you wasn't here last week either. So it's good to see you back. And thank you to those on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. All Peter Richardson, Judy Miller Sims. All right, I know who that is. God bless you. Natasha Jackson. I don't think I called your name earlier. Pat Mazza. That's Mark's best friend. Pat Mazza is online with us. Peter Richardson. I think I got all that I could see. But thank you guys so much. If it's God's will, we'll be back here on next week, Thursday. We're coming up on 6 years, y'all. June first Wednesday in June is really the 6-year anniversary, because we started off on Wednesdays, then we went to Thursdays. But thank you guys. Thank you for coming and joining us. And I know every week people don't have anything to say. I want those who listen to know that sometimes we don't have anything to say. We don't have a lot to put into it, but then there's others that do have a lot to put into it, and we appreciate all. That's why we have a panel this size, in case the conversation gets low. There's someone who has something to say about the usual conversations we have, because we do prepare before we get on to what we're going to discuss when we get on the air. So we're not just walking in here blindly. We prepare before we get on the air. So, and we know pretty much who's going to lead that discussion. All right. So thank you so much again. If it's God's will, we'll see you next week, Thursday. I'm going to ask CJ to lead us in prayer this time.
Father God, we come before you, thanking you for yet another day. Thank you, God, for open eyes and sunrise. Thank you, God, for a right mind. Thank you, God, for being so kind. Father, we thank you that as we stand before you now, God, we thank you that you will keep your hands upon each and every one of us that are present online, and those that sit in front of their computers, God. We ask that you keep all of our families represented before your eyes, and that we know that you will continue to care for us. And until we meet next week, we pray that you will continue to bless us. In the name of your son, Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Happy birthday, Charles.
Wait a minute before we go up the air. Charles, what's Charles Jordan?
Yes, Charles
Happy
Jordan.
birthday to Charles Jordan. That's Rich's son, 23 years old. God bless him.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Charles.
Birthday, Charles.
Happy birthday, Charles.